Good morning, it's Dan with Ranch Vision Sunrise. Does regenerative agriculture work? If you don't know what regenerative agriculture is by now, shut this video off and spend 20 minutes bouncing around the internet. You'll get the general idea. Chances are you've got a neighbor that does it. Chances are you've been to a conference that's mentioned it. Maybe you do it yourself. You probably have an opinion on whether or not it works. Super quick, let's dig into what it is so we're both talking about the same thing. When I talk about regenerative agriculture, I'm talking about it. I'm a rancher. We're going to talk about raising livestock in balance with nature. Cows, pigs, chickens, sheep raised out on the landscape, start to finish, in balance with nature. That's kind of opposed to a lot of our meat is coming from confinement barns. Animals stuffed in a barn by the thousands, feedlots, 40 to 50,000 animals jammed in a feedlot. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is all that raised out in balance, out in the landscape. We're going to call that regenerative. 10 minutes from now, I come up with a better name for raising animals out on the land in balance with nature, and we're all going to call it that. But for now, I'm just going to call it regenerative agriculture so we all know what the heck Dan's talking about. So does that work, Dan? Whether or not it works has everything to do with mindset. If you have a mindset of whether or not there's value raising animals, grazing better, running your business in such a way to where you're benefiting the landscape, the wildlife habitat is healthier. What we're really talking about is whether or not you value that being better. Do you see, if I change and adapt and grow in my business and in my grazing, do I get an end result? Do you believe that's possible? If you don't, that's really what we're talking about. If you think just turning the animals out and not really caring about where they are or how they graze or how many fences and water tanks you have, if you don't think there's any value in doing that, you're already right. Everything you see or learn you're just going to decide you're right, and none of that works. What I'm talking about here is if you take on a mindset of growth and adapt and learning, you will be a better grazer. You will find ways to improve your business. If you get sucked into the whirlwind of none of that matters, that doesn't work, the way we've been doing it is fine, you'll hit a wall. You'll hit a wall to where none of that works anymore. You'll run out of money, your relationships will slowly fizzle out, things will one by one just start falling out of alignment, and you won't end up where you want. If you take on a growth and learning mindset to be a better leader, a better husband, a better friend, a better grazer, you will find something amazing. So you have to ask yourself, do you believe that is possible or do you not? If you take on this growth mindset, you will find it. If you get sucked into the whirlwind of complaining and politicking and arguing, you will find more and more your world just goes to shit. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but 10 years from now, when you're wondering how the hell did everything end up this way, it's whether or not right now you chose to believe there was a better way to do things or whether you don't. So put in the comments, with that in mind, whether or not regenerative agriculture works. It's just like asking, does being a better husband work? Does being better at business work? Let me know what you think.